We love.
We are?
Kind
I think the eyeball pops up. There we
of.
go.
I looked it up because I don't get notifications for some reason. So I go straight to the page and like refresh it until I see that it's live.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we begin, giving all praises, glory, and honor
Timo.
to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah, Dash. The honors go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who and teach well. Shalom, Wabarakim to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is a couple brothers from Great Millstone, Nashville. Just going to go into, briefly the topic of martial law and persecution, which goes hand in hand because martial law is going to be one of Esau Edom, the so-called white man's tool, especially the elites. Their tool to use to persecute the men of the Lord, to make sure they don't continue to preach on the streets, to make sure that they basically have to always be on the move. That's what's going to force us to become pilgrims. Well, the plagues as well, but especially martial law, because if you know that there's going to be people that are coming after you and they're, a couple minutes away and they're looking for you, how should I say that they persecute you, flee to another city. So martial law, which is basically, I mean, I've never seen it in person yet, but like watching certain things is kind of like a just basically kind of like the National Guard, I suppose, but more trained for people dealing with civilian situations, kind of like a SWAT team, some shit. People that do raids and stuff like that. So they're definitely military trained. So Jake thinking that he can run out there with a Glock and shoot a whole, 10 person thing, it's just not going to work. They're going to completely destroy you, which is why we need Yahweh Shemal Shai more than ever. If you don't have the Lord, you're already toast.
Mm-hmm.
We could start with the standard first. I'll go ahead and grab it. I already got it.
Okay.
It's Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. And coming in like a flood, which there is going to be, floods, but this is dealing with the troops coming in upon the prophets, and a flood, especially like rushing waters, because floods are always known to drown people, but they also have immense force. When you see certain videos like a tsunami in Japan, the waters just completely rush and move cars and everything out the way. So that's how the troops are going to come in, which is like what they did back in 70 AD. It's essentially like that all over again, except we're not in Jerusalem. But the troops are going to be looking for the prophets, starting with the apostle and elders, great millstone, but just everybody, which is why they have those red and blue lists and all that. They're going to be looking for everybody that opposes the New World Order, but starting with the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
But that standard is when the Lord is going to, give his men spiritual powers. Not everybody's going to receive it, but it's safe to say that all the elect are going to at least witness it, because if you don't have spiritual power, it's very likely that you're going to have to be saved by a brother that does. Or you're going to see somebody that you might have talked to, in your camp or something that takes off and flies. So we're all going to bear witness to that standard being lifted, which
Mm-hmm.
is definitely needed. Especially robot dogs. How the fuck do you actually prepare for that physically? Can't. You cannot. So we need the Lord.
That's right.
Oh
Second Ezra 16 and verse I get started verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire." And that it don't matter where you are, man. First and foremost is going to take place on a major scale here in America. But they also gonna get the prophets around the globe as well, man. It says destroying those that fear the Lord. They coming after the prophets, man, just like the brother said, starting with the elders and apostles. And then, even if you're an Israelite, if you click that link one time, you went out to your search history and you looked up Hebrew Israelites, you wearing your fringes around, as well as, and even if you're not an Israelite, or not if you don't know you're an Israelite and, you just a nigga in the world, they're going to come after you too, man. They're not going to care. Their main focus is to get us, man. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. They're gonna come. They may come middle of the night, man. Like the brothers always say, you caught in your boxers, man, just chilling. Sleep, drool coming out your mouth, and they're gonna come. And we just gotta be ready for that day and know that it is coming, man. It says, in that day, then shall be known who are my chosen. In that day is going to be known who are the chosen of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. We're going to be tried, man. Even in that day, we gotta remain focused, remain humble, remain calm, cool, and collected, as they say, even during those times, because it's prophesied and it's written that it is coming, man, very soon. That's all.
This is 2 Maccabees 6:6. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And then when you read through Maccabees, especially like First Maccabees 1, it goes into how basically everybody that was trying to keep the customs of our forefathers and keep the law and, actually stay true to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Well, at the time, just Yahweh, because Yahushai wasn't introduced yet. He wasn't alive yet. In that body, but they were being persecuted for that. Families, if they had, they were circumcising their children and all that, they were being destroyed. They were being murdered. But the books of the law was being burnt. So it's the same thing that's going to apply today. And one reason why is because back in the Maccabees, Antiochus wanted everybody to be one people. He wanted to bring everybody together, which our religion is strictly for Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We believe that we are the chosen seed line and we are set above everybody else. Esau's not going for that. He wants to be the Most High in his religion, and he wants everybody to be one subservient people under him. He knows that the men of the Lord and the women that believe are not going to be going for that. So he's going to seek you out and he's going to try to destroy you. He's going to search and destroy you. That's why it says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or to profess himself to be a Jew, which is why even today, even prior to the persecution, before it even happens, we don't just go around everywhere telling people that you're from such and such tribe. Matthew 7:6, we don't cast our pearls before swine. We just keep it on the low. Mm-hmm. There's a time and a place for everything. It's not always the time to bring out a scripture. Sometimes you just got to work. You're at the job, just work. Just keep to yourself. Put your earbuds in, listen to that music, whatever. You don't need to tell everybody about what's going on, because if they're meant to understand or know, it's going to be a time and place for that. Save the scriptures for talks with brothers, save them for lessons, save them for when you study, camp. You don't need to be on an assembly line talking about Moses. It's not the time and place for that. You got to appear just like some regular person. Which it's really impossible, because the spirits know who you are, demons know who you are. But in the carnal flesh, when people look through their eyes, they should look at you and just think you're a weirdo. You're just some random dude that works there. You're just some weird guy. You don't talk to nobody, whatever. He's a loner. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. He's a loser. Let people think that. Don't try to make a name for yourself. Don't put a target on your back. There's already, enough heat teaching the word. You don't need to be going out there, That's why brothers say Clark Kent.
Yep.
But that was it.
I got this in First Maccabees 1. Because everything that we see see and read in these scriptures, man, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come again. What's to say? I believe in Ecclesiastes. There's no new thing under the sun. So if it happened back then, man, it's going to happen again today, man. And what does it say? It said that we're coming to a time like no other, the worst time in history. a time of trouble like no other, man. So if it's going to be it's going to be worse than anything that we've seen or heard concerning, desolation, concerning distress, anguish, persecution, etc. And we bring out these accounts to know that even during those times, the Lord, didn't forsake, his men, his, like during that time, he didn't forsake the Maccabees, Judas and his brethren as well, Mattathias, which was Judas's father. And so I would get this in First Maccabees 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. What does that sound like? That sounds like in the NWO, man. The one world order. It says, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. It says, yeah, many also the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificing the idols and profaned the Sabbath. You're going to have Israelites, man. Apostle Charles was going into it at their most recent ministry, man. He said, that Jake, they're going to take it as soon as it come out, man. Because Jake live that fast life. They want to, as soon as they say they can't eat, they can't drink, they can't do this, do that, they start feeling some type of way. So when Esau comes out with this C hit, man, people gonna be like, oh, I'm trying to continue in this way of living. So they're gonna take it, man. You have a lot, but you're also gonna have Jake who resent it, who try to go against it. But at the end of the day, man, if you're not part of the elect, the Lord ain't gonna be with you, and you're gonna be in straits, distress, anguish. It says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. And I got that word for overseer. Overseer says, just on Google definition, it says a person who supervises others, especially workers. So they was watching over the Jerusalem, the land of Judah, making sure that they sacrifice in swine's flesh, making sure that they, putting up groves, making sure that they ain't leaving their children uncircumcised, man. So you had the people that's kind of sound like martial law, man, because they couldn't do what they wanted. They couldn't keep the laws. But they said overseers over the people to make sure that they doing wickedness, to make sure they're doing ungodliness. And the same thing that happened to them, man, is going to happen now 10 times worse. That's it.
Right. Which when we had our land and Jake was actually in his right mind, people would get stoned to death in the midst of everybody to put the fear of Yahweh Shemel Shai in them, to where they know that if they commit adultery or they murder, or they do this or they do that, there's a punishment that's going to come with that. Mm-hmm. And Esau does that same type of thing on the left-hand side. That persecution is going to put a lot of fear in Israelites, is going to make them fold like a bitch, because they don't want to be tortured. They don't want to lose their assets that they have, their possessions, especially the rich men, right, like Drake and Jay-Z and all of them. But they're going to see certain people getting shot, whatever. They don't want to see, they don't want to get ripped from the children and thrown in prison.
Right.
That's going to terrify them. So they're going to get in line. But the men of the Lord, they don't give a fuck, because first of all, they've already been through this in the reincarnation. They've already been through similar situations like this. Persecution of the prophets is not nothing new. It's been happening for a long time. Right. But I got this Acts 5, because at the end of the day, it's ultimately vanity that Esau is even trying to, break the prophets to pieces, because it's not going to work. The gospel is still going to come to pass. The words of the Lord is still going to come to pass. You beheading a prophet isn't going to end anything. It's not going to stop Yahweh Shai from coming back. It's
Right.
really just going to make it worse for you. But this is Acts 5:38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone, for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, least haply ye be found even to fight against God. So it would have been better off for Esau, Edom, and 2/3 of our people to just sit back and just not fuck with us. But instead, they keep trying to dip their hand in the pot, so they're going to get burnt.
Right.
You know, that's ultimately what's going to happen to them. It's not. There's no point in Esau really persecuting the prophets because he can't stop prophecy.
Right.
But that just shows that he's proud as hell.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I got this in John 15 and verse. I'll start at verse 18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you're not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Yahweh was persecuted, man. He was hung from a cross, man, nailed to a cross. He said, we're not, and we damn sure ain't greater than Yahweh, man, and we never will be. If Yahweh was persecuted, man, we gonna go through the same shit. Not to that extent, but we gonna get persecuted, man. We're gonna get thrown into prison. We're gonna get some of the men of the Lord gonna get beheaded. Some of the men of the Lord gonna be tortured, etc., man. Man, and Yahweh said it's coming. Yahweh is not a man to lie. He said, if they persecute me, they will persecute you also. So that's the beautiful thing about it, is that we have the insights to know that it's coming, and to the best of our ability, we're preparing for it spiritually and mentally. Which, like the brothers always say, you really can't prepare for it. You just gotta, when it comes, you just gotta take it on the chin. But unlike everybody else in the world, man, we know that it's about to go down. These people in the world, they don't know shit from apple butter. They don't know that shit's about to hit the fan. They don't know that all hell is about to break loose. They don't know that martial law is about to take place. They don't know that the CHIP is about to get implemented. And if you don't take it, you're going to die. If you don't take it, you ain't going to be able to pay for your rent. The people of the world do not know what is about to happen, man. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the Lord has given us, starting with our elders and apostles, Great Millstone, that insight to know that it's about to happen. The end is here, like it says in Ezekiel. And the Lord is not the Lord don't care if you small, if you a child, an old lady, an old man, a baby. The Lord does not care. You just bought you a new house. Well, Lord, I just bought me this new house. Can you give us a couple more years to get ready? No, ain't none of that, man. We on the Lord's time, man. We in the Lord's movie. And it's about to happen, man, very soon. That was it.
I got one dealing with how we're going to be persecuted just like Yahweh Shai. Mm-hmm. Matthew 20, I'm going to start at 18. It says, and this in red, it says, behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto the chief priests and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock and to scourge and to crucify him, and the third day he shall rise again. All that came to pass. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, what wilt thou? She saith unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on the left, in thy kingdom. But Yahushua answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, we are able. And he saith unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. So basically, Yahushua is saying there's already an order and a rank set up when we get to the kingdom of heaven, but he's letting them know that you're going to catch major hell. you're going to drink of that cup. And that same thing applied to the rest of the disciples, and it applies to us today. That's part of the thing. Being baptized with the water, the washing of the word, and being baptized with fire, the persecution, the chastisement that comes with this. Because us being persecuted by Esau Edom is just another form of chastisement, and it's a hell of a lot worse than a body ailment. It's a hell of a lot worse than a car problem or an empty wallet. Being persecuted by Esau Edom, it tops all that massively, because you're not going to have no car. You're not even going to have 20 feet to walk around in. You're going to be stuck in a cell, pissing and shitting wherever the fuck you can, if there's even a toilet in there. Because you're not, more than likely, we're not going to be going to prison in the sense of maximum security that you see today. It's going to be a fucking death camp. It's going to like what they talk about with the big H. That's going to really be you. Yep. They're not putting you in there and you're going to serve 5 years and get out. They're going to put you in there and work your ass to death, or they're just going to have you be put to death in a week. You're not going there to get ramen noodles and shit. So it's definitely about to be a lot worse than it's ever been. But all of these certain things that we go through, even if it is, light or small compared to what's coming, it's still getting our minds prepared to suffer more than ever before.
Right.
We make the most of our sufferings, and it allows us to grow over time.
Right. I got this in Revelation 2:10, and you can break it down, brother. Revelation 2:10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Right. And that's in red, right?
That's in red.
All right. So Yahushua said, fear none of those things. Simply because we're spiritual, so we understand that the kingdom of heaven is nigh at hand, and we understand that we have to go through the bitter to receive the sweet. So no matter what it is that we're going to have to, because everybody's walk is going to be different, regardless of what it is. On the other end of that, if you get over it or under it or around it, being an obstacle, you're going to inherit, the kingdom of heaven as the first fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So, which then also 10 days. It just represents completion. It's not guaranteed 10 days. Jake over there is scratching marks on the wall, 10 scratches. I'm getting out. No, that's not how that works.
And then they still in there. And then they cursing the Most High. Most High, you said 10 days.
Yeah, that's just through.
Yeah.
That is just through. The reality is when you get thrown in there, you should just be praying.
Yep.
No, don't even worry about when or how you're going to get out or if you're going to get out. Just make sure that you're in right standing with the Lord.
Right.
Because like the brother said, if you fuck around and start to bug out and you sin with your lips, you're going to be through.
Yep.
The Most High might have been about to give you spiritual power to bust out of there, but now you sin with your lips, the opposite of what Job did, and now you're going to get skinned.
Yep.
So, we definitely got to be locked in, man. It is game 7 of the finals. Every shot counts. Can't be airballing, man. And if you don't think you can make the shot, then pass the ball. Just make sure that shit gets in the basket.
All right.
Yep. You got some Jake. They want to make it all about themselves, and they want all the points in the quarter. And now he's fucking 5 for 20.
Right.
So no, fuck that, man.
No. I got another one.
All right.
And then Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. It said that we must, not we might, but we must, through much, not just tribulation, but much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So we're going to go through it, man. Martial law, persecution, torture, getting cast out of our houses, being a pilgrim on the earth, going from this place to another place. We may go three days without food. We may go 4 days without food. We may food and water. We may go through all this, man. But at the end of the day, we got to continue in the faith, no matter what is brought upon us: trials, tribulations, chastisement, adversity, afflictions. We got to stay faithful to the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahshua and know that He got our back. Ain't nobody else got us, man. Most High got us though through the stream probably of Hashem Yahshua. That's it.
I got one more. This is Matthew 24:13, and this is in red. It says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Which it doesn't, specify exactly what your end might be. Your end could be death as a martyr. Your end could be getting beamed up.
Right.
Regardless, the Lord said endure onto that point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything else?
No, I didn't have anything else.
All right. Well, Lord, willing that this lesson was edifying. Before we close, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. That honors go out to the apostles and elders, Great Millstone, Shalom, and above.
Shalom.